Most people think emotional intelligence is obvious. They imagine someone calm, charismatic, emotionally expressive, or naturally good with people. But psychology tells us something surprising. Some of the most emotionally intelligent people don't even realize they have it. Because emotional intelligence often appears in small everyday behaviors, the way you respond to conflict, process emotions, handle stress, or make other people feel around you. In fact, there's a chance you've been showing signs of high emotional intelligence for years, without ever noticing it. And in this video, we're breaking down 7 powerful signs you have high emotional intelligence without knowing it, backed by psychology, neuroscience, and human behavior research. Some of these signs are subtle. But once you recognize them, you may start seeing yourself very differently. Emotional intelligence, often called EQ, is the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and respond effectively to emotions, both your own and the emotions of others. And according to psychologists, emotional intelligence plays a massive role in almost every part of life. Your relationships, your communication skills, your mental resilience, your leadership ability, even your long-term happiness. In many cases, emotional intelligence matters more than raw IQ when it comes to navigating real life successfully. But here's the interesting part. High emotional intelligence doesn't always look dramatic or obvious. Sometimes, it shows up in quiet habits and natural behaviors that emotionally intelligent people assume everyone else does too. So let's explore the 7 signs that may reveal you're far more emotionally intelligent than you realize. Sign 1. You pause before reacting. One of the strongest signs of emotional intelligence is the ability to pause before reacting emotionally. Most people react instantly. They get angry and lash out. They feel criticized and become defensive. They feel stressed and unload that stress onto others. But emotionally intelligent people often create a small mental gap between emotion and action. That pause is incredibly important. Psychologists associate this with emotional regulation, the ability to manage emotional impulses instead of being controlled by them. Neuroscience research suggests this happens when the rational part of the brain, known as the prefrontal cortex, helps regulate emotional responses coming from the amygdala, which processes fear, stress, and emotional threat. In simple terms, emotionally intelligent people don't let emotions completely hijack their behavior. That doesn't mean they never feel angry or upset. It means they can experience emotion without immediately becoming consumed by it. If you've ever stopped yourself before saying something hurtful, taken time to cool down before responding, or resisted making emotional decisions in the heat of the moment, that's a major sign of emotional intelligence. Sign 2. People naturally open up to you. Have you ever noticed people telling you deeply personal things surprisingly quickly? Maybe strangers talk to you about their life problems. Maybe your friends always come to you for advice. Or maybe people say things like, "I don't know why, but I feel comfortable talking to you." That's not random. Emotionally intelligent people often create what psychologists call emotional safety. They make people feel heard instead of judged, understood instead of dismissed. Research in social psychology shows that humans constantly look for emotional signals during conversations. We subconsciously ask ourselves, is this person safe to talk to? Will they judge me? Will they actually listen? Emotionally intelligent people tend to send calming signals through their tone, body language, empathy, and listening skills. And because of that, others naturally trust them. One of the biggest signs of emotional intelligence is not how much you talk, but how safe people feel around you emotionally. Sign 3. You're highly self-aware. Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence. Because if you don't understand your own emotions, it becomes extremely difficult to manage them effectively. Emotionally intelligent people tend to notice their emotional patterns. They recognize when they are stressed. They understand their triggers. And they reflect on their own behavior honestly. For example, instead of automatically blaming other people, they may stop and think, maybe I'm reacting this way because I'm overwhelmed. That level of self-reflection is rare. Psychologists call this emotional granularity, the ability to identify emotions clearly and accurately instead of becoming emotionally confused or overwhelmed. And studies show that people with high emotional awareness often cope with stress more effectively and make better long-term decisions. Ironically, emotionally intelligent people often overestimate their flaws because they spend so much time reflecting on themselves. But that self-awareness is actually a strength. If you regularly examine your thoughts, emotions, and behavior honestly, you likely have stronger emotional intelligence than you think. Sign 4. You can disagree without becoming disrespectful. A lot of people see disagreement as a personal attack. But emotionally intelligent people understand something important. Disagreement does not automatically equal disrespect. Because of that, they're often able to stay calm during difficult conversations. Instead of immediately becoming defensive or aggressive, they try to understand the other person's perspective. Even if they strongly disagree, this ability is connected to cognitive empathy, the skill of understanding another person's emotional or mental perspective without necessarily agreeing with them. And according to psychological research, people with stronger emotional regulation are far less likely to escalate conflict unnecessarily. Emotionally intelligent people also understand that preserving communication is often more valuable than winning an argument. So instead of reacting emotionally, they focus on clarity, understanding, and resolution. If you're capable of disagreeing with people while still remaining respectful and emotionally grounded, that's a strong sign of emotional intelligence. Sign 5. You adapt the way you communicate. Emotionally intelligent people understand that not everyone processes emotions the same way. So they naturally adjust their communication depending on who they are talking to. For example, they may speak gently to someone who's anxious, more directly with someone analytical, or more patiently with someone emotionally overwhelmed. This is called social awareness, the ability to recognize emotional dynamics and adapt appropriately. Emotionally intelligent people tend to notice subtle emotional cues that others miss. Tone of voice, facial expressions, changes in energy, body language. And because they notice these signals, they communicate in ways that make other people feel understood rather than emotionally disconnected. This isn't manipulation. It's emotional attunement. And research consistently shows that socially aware individuals tend to build stronger relationships and communicate more effectively in both personal and professional settings. Sign 6. You don't need constant validation. One surprising sign of emotional intelligence is emotional security. Emotionally intelligent people usually don't rely heavily on external validation to feel valuable. They don't constantly need to prove themselves. They don't always need attention. And they don't feel threatened when someone else succeeds. In fact, emotionally intelligent people are often comfortable listening more than speaking. They can let others shine without feeling diminished themselves. Psychologists often associate this with healthier self-esteem and lower levels of narcissistic behavior. Because when your emotional stability comes from within, you become less dependent on constant approval from others. Ironically, this quiet confidence often makes emotionally intelligent people more respected over time. If you're comfortable being yourself without constantly seeking recognition, that's a powerful sign of emotional intelligence. Sign 7. You recover from emotional setbacks. Emotionally intelligent people still experience pain. They still go through heartbreak, disappointment, rejection, stress, and failure. The difference is how they recover. Psychologists call this emotional resilience, the ability to adapt and regain emotional balance after difficult experiences. Emotionally intelligent individuals tend to process emotions instead of suppressing them. They allow themselves to feel pain without letting that pain completely define their identity. Instead of remaining trapped in emotional spirals forever, they gradually rebuild themselves emotionally. Research shows that emotional awareness and emotional regulation are strongly connected to resilience and mental recovery. In other words, emotionally intelligent people aren't immune to emotional pain. They are simply better at navigating through it. And if you've faced difficult experiences, but consistently found ways to heal, learn, and move forward, that may be one of the strongest signs of emotional intelligence of all. So, how many of these signs sounded familiar to you? If you recognized yourself in several of them, there's a good chance your emotional intelligence is much higher than you realized. And that matters. Because emotional intelligence influences nearly every area of life, from relationships and communication to mental health, confidence, leadership, and emotional resilience. The best part is that emotional intelligence is not fixed. It's a skill that can continue growing throughout your life through self-awareness, empathy, reflection, and emotional practice. And the more you develop it, the better you become at understanding both yourself and the people around you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to Vital Psyche Studios for more science-backed psychology and mental health content designed to help you better understand the human mind. And let us know in the comments, which sign surprised you the most. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.